und herzlich willkommen bei whisky.de, dem Treffpunkt feiner Geister. Und heute bin ich mal, ihr seht es hinter mir schon, bei Ardbeg. Es ist wunderschön, dass ich auch mal bei Ardbeg bin, denn ich habe noch gar kein Brennerei-Video zu Ardbeg. Horst hat mal eins gemacht, als er hier angeflogen gekommen ist mit einem Helikopter und hier ein schönes Highland-Dinner am Loch Uigeadail gemacht hat. Aber ja, es ist auch mal an der Zeit, dass ich ein Video mache und euch mal zeige. Es ist nämlich schön, es gibt nämlich eine ganze Menge Neuigkeiten hier bei Ardbeg und die schauen wir uns heute mal an. Die Geschichte von Ardbeg fängt 1794 an und ja, wie bei jeder Brennerei ein wenig illegale Destillation. Dann wurden sie 1815 von der MacDougall-Familie, was im Grunde der MacDougall-Clan war. Und die MacDougalls waren ein sehr, sehr einflussreicher Clan. Sie waren Abkömmlinge von den Lord of the Isles, die hier auf Islay ihren Sitz hatten und sehr, sehr, sehr einflussreich waren. Genau, und die haben dann 1815 die Brennerei gegründet und betrieben. Sehr interessant war, dass irgendwann die MacDougalls auch irgendwann teilweise die Familie rausgestorben ist und dann im circa 1840, 43 hat dann Margaret und Flora, das waren zwei Frauen, die Brennerei als Managerin geführt. Also es war so ein sehr, sehr großer Pioniercharakter für diese Frauen damals. Und ja, die haben das Ganze dann geführt. Dann ging es weiter. Erste Hälfte des 20. Jahrhunderts war wie für jede Brennerei extrem schwierig. 2 Weltkriege, Rezession, Prohibition in USA. Ja, extrem schwierig, weil man einfach wirklich keinen Alkohol gut verkaufen konnte. Deswegen war die Brennerei da öfters geschlossen, wieder geöffnet und wieder geschlossen und so weiter und so fort. Ging das Ganze dann weiter. Später wurde dann die Brennerei eine eigenständige private Firma mit mehreren Investoren, aber die Familie MacDougall oder der MacDougall-Clan hatte da immer noch die Leitung dahinter. Die Firma hieß dann Ardbeg Distilling Ltd. Diese wurde dann aber später verkauft an Hiram Walker, was dann später Allied und Allied Domecq wurde. Und da ging es dann aber auch wieder bergab. 1981 wurde nämlich die Brennerei dann geschlossen, was ja immer noch Auswirkungen auf heute hat. Deswegen gibt es auch nicht so alte Ardbegs, mittlerweile schon langsam. Schöne war aber, in Allied Domecq war auch Laphroaig, also 2 Brennereien die Straße runter. Die Leute waren im gleichen Konzern, also haben sie öfter mal ein paar Arbeiter rübergeschickt, dass die mal die Washbags nass machen und so mal die generelle Maintenance machen. Also die Brennerei war nicht komplett geschlossen, sondern sie waren gemothballt. Also sie waren eingemottet, dass hier alles Equipment noch im Grunde funktionsfähig gehalten wurde. Das Schöne war dann eben, Allied hat sie dann 1889 wieder eröffnet und die Brennerei hat wieder das Produzieren angefangen. Da muss man so ein bisschen das Ganze in Relation setzen. So in den 70ern war fast alles noch Blendindustrie und hier und da gab es dann schon mal MacDougall Whisky von dem Isle of Islay und sowas. So ging es dann los langsam mit Single Malt und 89 hat es dann eben die große Rezession der Blends gegeben und da sind dann die ganzen Single Malt Namen ein bisschen hochgekommen an der Stelle, was eine sehr, sehr schöne Geschichte war. Das ging dann so weiter, dass irgendwann dann Glenmorangie plc die Ardbeg Distillerie gekauft hat. Also hat dann Ardbeg zu Glenmorangie gehört und die haben dann gleich 1998 haben die dann ein Visitor Center hier eröffnet, also das im Grunde Ardbeg ins 20. Jahrhundert geholt, um eine moderne Brennerei zu sein mit Touristen, mit Single Malt und allem drum und dran. Weiter ging es dann mit einem Kauf, und zwar wurde Glenmorangie und Ardbeg 2004 von Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, also den Franzosen, gekauft und die haben auch kräftig hier investiert. Das sehen wir später noch, was sie alles an Produktion mittlerweile schon investiert haben, aber auch extrem viel an Marketing. Also die Marke Ardbeg mit ihrer Verspieltheit und allem, das ist großer Verdienst von den Leuten von Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. Wir wissen ja, die Leute von Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, die wissen, wie Marketing funktioniert. Gut, das war's mal mit dem groben Überblick über die Geschichte. Da gibt es noch sehr, sehr viele Einzelheiten. Aber wir gucken jetzt einfach mal, wie Ardbeg Whisky hergestellt wird. Die Produktion beginnt mit einer alten Bobby Mill von Robert Bobby von 1921. Interessant ist, diese Bobby Mill wurde früher durch Wasser betrieben. Also es war eine wasserangetriebene Mühle und sie ist ja über 100 Jahre alt und funktioniert immer noch perfekt. Das angelieferte Getreide wird hier in Batches, also in Mengen von 5 Tonnen gemahlen und hat einen Torfgehalt, ein Phenolgehalt von 55 ppm. Ja, und das geht dann weiter in die Mash-Tonnen. Die 5 Tonnen Gerstenschroten landen dann hier in dieser großen Mash-Tonne. Sie sieht aus wie eine alte Cast Iron Mash-Tonne von 1961. Man sieht es hier unten auf dem Schild. Ist aber eigentlich eine moderne, rostfreie Stahl-Semi-Lauter-Tonne von 1999. Sieht man, was Glenmorangie plc damals investiert hat. Sie haben aber gerade neu, vor ein paar Jahren, ein neues Reinigungssystem bekommen. Vorher mussten sie immer reinklettern, alles reinigen und wieder rausklettern. Jetzt reinigt sie sich von alleine. Also es ist innerhalb dieses Cast Iron, also diese gusseisernen alten Mash-Tonnen, haben sie auch noch rostfreien Stahl innen drin, wo dann die Rechen einem modernes System, höhere Effizienz, bessere Ausbeute, bessere gleichbleibende Qualität, Mechanik, die nicht so schnell kaputt geht. Ist innen drin richtig schön modernes Equipment, aber ich finde es toll, dass sie die alte gusseiserne Mash-Tonne noch ein Stückchen erhalten. Ja, was interessant ist, wir haben ja gehört, Ardbeg hat eine Produktionserhöhung und sie haben es geschafft, sie mussten die Mash-Tonne nicht verändern. Die Mash-Tonne funktioniert immer noch bei der erhöhten Produktionskapazität, aber sie sind jetzt schon ziemlich an der Kapazitätsgrenze. Wenn sie nochmal erweitern wollen, müssen sie auch was an der Mash-Tonne machen. Ja, und jetzt geht es mal weiter mit den Washbags. Jetzt geht es los mit dem Fermentationsprozess und hinter mir stehen die 6 Original-Washbags. Also die sind schon immer da gewesen. Die Brennerei hat jetzt neue Washbags bauen müssen für ihre Produktionserweiterung. Im alten Malzlager mit den großen Malzsilos, da wurde jetzt die Malzsilos rausgerissen und wurden 4 neue Washbags eingebaut aus auch Douglas Fir. Im Internet gab es so ein bisschen Gerüchte, dass da irgendwo Lärchenholz mit dabei gewesen ist. Stimmt nicht. Die sind alle aus Douglas Fir, die neuen sind alle aus Douglas Fir. Und da gibt es jetzt eben 4 genau baugleiche Washbags und auch nochmal 2 experimentelle Washbags in einem anderen Gebäude. Also ja, die Brennerei hat sie ist nicht auf der grünen Wiese gebaut, sie ist historisch gewachsen. Deswegen haben sie jetzt die Fermentation auf 3 verschiedene Gebäude verteilt. Und ja, die neuen experimentellen können auch für die reguläre Produktion verwendet werden. Ja, die Washbags halten 23.500 Liter Volumen und es wird fermentiert über 66 Stunden bis 70, 71 Stunden. Warum gibt es da so eine Spanne? Sie produzieren 7 Tage die Woche. Das liegt daran, dass ein halber Washbag eine Still befüllt. Und das heißt, die andere Hälfte muss noch ein bisschen warten und fermentiert deswegen noch ein bisschen nach. War aber schon immer so, bei Ardbeg verändert eigentlich den Charakter nicht. Da wir gerade über Charakter sprechen, sie wollen ein cremiges, wachsiges, fruchtiges, mit Textur Bier erstellen. Sehr interessant, wie man das so sehr schön definieren kann, aber da gibt es eine ganze Menge Einstellschrauben, wie man sowas einstellen kann. Und die Leute hier bei Ardbeg wissen diese Einstellschrauben natürlich alle zu Genüge. Genau. Nachdem hier dann der Alkohol entstanden ist, geht es weiter in der Destillation. Ich bin jetzt hier im neuen Stillhaus der Brennerei. Und ja, es sind neue Stills drin. Das alte Stillhaus existiert noch, aber sie sind dekommissioniert worden, heißt, sie arbeiten nicht mehr. Hier im neuen Brennhaus gibt es jetzt alles doppelt und sie sind genau gleich groß. Sie sind wieder von Richard Forsyth, eben seinem Sohn, gebaut worden in genau den gleichen Dimensionen und genau den gleichen Abmessungen und Apparaturen, wie es auch im alten war. Also es wird genau gleich hergestellt. Die Spirit Still wird die Wash Still wird mit 11.750 Litern befüllt. Das ist genau ein halbes Washback und sie läuft zweimal. Also wenn wir einmal hier die Wash Still gelaufen haben, dann läuft die Spirit Still währenddessen einmal. Und die Spirit Still wird mit 13.500 Litern befüllt. Das ist zweimal ca. 4.700 Litern Low Wines aus der Wash Still, plus nochmal die Foreshots und die Feints aus dem letzten Run. Deswegen hat sie mehr. Und ja, sie läuft langsamer, deswegen ist es unüblich, dass eine Spirit Still mehr hat, ist aber hier eigentlich ganz normal. Die Spirit Still ist auch relativ groß, das heißt, trotz der großen Füllmenge ist immer noch genügend Platz in dieser lampenförmigen Still, dass sich genügend Reflux bilden kann. Was auch noch sehr, sehr interessant ist, wir haben bei Ardbeg einen sogenannten Purifier. Also im Linearm gibt es nochmal eine Rückführung zurück in den Pot. Und das gibt auch nochmal, nimmt ein bisschen die schweren Stoffe raus. Und jetzt reden wir mal ein bisschen über Charakter. Also was Ardbeg für einen Destilleriecharakter herdestillieren will, ist frisch. Und zwar frisch mit grasig, mit Menthol, aber natürlich auch eine ganze Menge rauchig. Also sie wollen den Rauch nicht rausdestillieren, aber sie wollen das Ganze sehr frisch machen. Das haben wir einmal durch die Form, dann durch diesen Purifier, aber auch nochmal durch die Schnittpunkte. Und was sie mit den Schnittpunkten machen, ist, sie nehmen beide Schnittpunkte und setzen sie ein bisschen nach oben. Das heißt, der Vorlauf, der kommt sehr früh. Also sie nehmen den Vorlauf, schmeißen ihn weg, aber was andere noch als Vorlauf bezeichnen würden, nehmen sie schon mit. Und der Nachlauf, den schneiden sie auch sehr früh ab. Wird also sehr, sehr viel recycelt, also in den nächsten Lauf reingefüllt, also zurück in den Pot im Grunde. Und das macht sie etwas höherprozentiger, ein bisschen frischer und ein bisschen mentholiger an der Seite. Das ist der Charakter, den Ardbeg haben will. Jetzt reden wir mal ein bisschen über Produktionskapazitäten, weil es doch interessant. Wir hatten früher immer so, man sagt immer so, die haben ungefähr 1 Million Liter reinen Alkohol pro Jahr, 1 Million Liter pro Jahr. Dann gab es immer so, sie haben es geschafft, über 1 Million rauszukommen. Jetzt sagen sie, sie haben eine Produktionskapazität von bis zu 2,8 Millionen Liter pro Jahr. Dieses Jahr ist ihr Ziel für 2,5 Millionen. Also sie sind schon echt gut eingespielt. Also das Equipment ist alles noch recht neu, aber sie sind echt gut eingespielt und vielleicht schaffen sie nächstes Jahr dann auch die 2,8 Millionen Liter reinen Alkohol. Gut, das hier ist dann das neue Stillhouse und jetzt gehen wir mal ein bisschen weiter. Mit der erhöhten Produktionskapazität wird natürlich auch etwas mehr abgefüllt bei Ardbeg. Und zwar füllen sie mittlerweile 4-mal die Woche ab und das immer auch eine ganze Menge in mehrere Batches an großen Sherryfässern oder Bourbonfässern. Ja, Fassauswahl hier, sehr viel First Fill, sehr viel Second Fill, Third Fill machen sie nicht. Dann haben wir noch eine ganze Menge Oloroso, es gibt Madeira und noch eine ganze Menge Weinfässer und eine ganze Menge Experimente, würde ich mal sagen. Also wir sind dahinter gekommen, haben schon wieder irgendwas gesehen da. Haben sie gesagt, bitte das nicht im Video erwähnen, das kommt die nächsten Jahre. Und das kennen und lieben wir natürlich von Ardbeg. Das ist wirklich schön, denn die machen eine ganze Menge Experimente. Was Ardbeg nicht so viel macht, was sie mir erzählt haben, ist Fassfinishes. Also man kennt, es gibt Fassfinishes von Ardbeg, aber eigentlich sind sie nicht so die Finisher, also die nennen es Recasking, aber das ist einfach nicht so ihr Ding. Was es aber noch gibt für An Oa ist, An Oa hat einen großen Marrying Vat. Also es ist ähnlich groß wie ein Washbag, eine große Wanne, wo dann ganz viele verschiedene Fässer reingefüllt werden, bis dann genau die Rezeptur drin ist, die man haben will. Dann lässt man es noch ein bisschen drin liegen. Und dann geht es erst weiter Richtung Abfüllung. Ja, das ist so die Geschichte hier. Was schön ist, wir haben extrem viele Dunnage Warehouses hier. Wir haben wirklich niedere Warehouses. Hier sieht man eine ganze Menge Sherryfässer, alle nur 2 hoch. Da hinten ist eine 3 hoch, also ganz normal, so wie man es kennt, gestampfter Lehmboden, sehr nah am Meer, Ziegelwände und alles hier drin, ja, sehr gedämpft und sehr kühl das ganze Jahr rundherum. Genau, gut, das ist es jetzt mal gewesen und jetzt probieren wir natürlich auch, ich bin schon sehr gespannt, wie da die Ardbegs alle hier schmecken. So, das war's mit der Produktion und jetzt kommt wieder ein kleines englisches Interview. So this is it with the production and now we're having a little interview with Colin Gordon.
Hello, sir.
You've done your masters in brewing and distilling 11 years ago. Now 11 years in the whiskey industry, not always as a distiller.
A bit of malting as well, I did. You had to learn both, it's important. So.
Yeah, and so now 2.5 years here at Ardbeg. So thank you very much for having us, and yeah, you showed us around Port Ellen maltings. Thank you for that as well.
That's right, it was, I remember it, and you didn't get very many visits at the maltings, you know. Lots of people wanted to come in, but the doors were often closed, so.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see such a malting, how that is going on.
It's like, I think that was the thing when we were learning as well. It was like really important to learn both sides, because if you don't get it right at the malt, it's going to be difficult to get the whiskey you want.
Yeah, whiskey is a lot about ingredients.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, if you don't have the quality, then you don't get the quality whiskey. Yeah. So yeah, it's really a long video now. So what are we having today?
Okay, so we've got a selection of Ardbeg. So we're going to kick off with the Wee Beastie, Ardbeg 5-year-old, and then we're going to move through a few. So
Wee Beastie. So that is not just a play on like beast, but is it like Wee Beastie, isn't it?
Well, I think what we wanted to do. So Ardbeg, quite often we don't put age statements on quite a few of the core range, and what we wanted to do with Wee Beastie was everyone knew that young Ardbeg worked well. So when we sort of got going again as a distillery, 1997, when Glenmorangie bought Ardbeg, we started laying down some stock again, and eventually we started going with the PT pathway, you know, very young, still young, almost there, and it was 6, 7, 8 years old, right up to the 10-year-old. So people knew young Ardbeg worked well. So we wanted to bottle something that was full of distillery character and flavour and an unashamed young whiskey. So we put the 5-year stamp on it, and it's a Wee Beastie, you know, it's a Scottish term, it's a Wee Beastie. It's powerful and fiery and full of character.
Isn't like a Wee Beastie also a midget?
Yeah, it has a bite to it, you know.
It has a bite to it. But it's a bit of a play on words, and I do love it. It's matured very well, I would say.
Like we use a mix of refill ex-bourbon casks and ex-Oloroso sherry casks.
Oh, there's refill in it as well.
Yeah, yeah. So, and what we want to get the balance right. Obviously, we don't add colour at Ardbeg, so this is all natural colour. So you can see lots of activity from the casks, but we still want to promote that distillery character punch, those citrusy, citrusy notes mixed with these big sooty, smoky, oily notes. So it's all about, Ardbeg's all about balance, and Wee Beastie bringing the age down really promotes that.
Oh yeah, and I love the smokiness really comes through. Yeah, if you have a very, very old whiskey, the smokiness tends to get smaller. Yeah. Yeah, and this one has just a beast kick to it.
You get like this lovely like tarry note, like tar and almost like a smoked meat. Like I kind of always get like a smoky bacon or something.
But still, you have also like what you said, citrus, bit of a fresh note. And today I've learned that the methyl note within the distilling, and it has a bit of a fresh note to it as well. Really.
We get this incredible. You something get like a herbal note as well from Ardbeg, from the new make spirit we run off.
Yeah, herbal, yeah.
And some of that really comes through. Like a chocolatey sweetness to it as well.
Yeah, sweetness is also there present a lot, but that is probably a bit of firstful in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, we we like to mix it up a bit and just make sure there's some of the woodiness and the mellowness from the match.
It's a good mixture. Good mixture. Yeah. Okay, shall we? Cheers.
Cheers. you often get a lovely, great mouthfeel to Ardbeg. It's unchilled filtered. It's good strength, 47.4.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that. It has a gut kick to it.
And again, that is where Bill, like Dr. Bill Lums and the whiskey creation team, they felt that really sort of amplified what we wanted with the beastie. But oh, you get that, such a, like for a young whiskey, there is a real like sweetness and that citrusy, like almost like a lemony tang to it. But again, that lovely mouth coating wood smoke and oh, it's good.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's smoky. It has a bit of a phenolic touch to it, but just a little bit. Main one is more of a bonfire at sea or a chimney or something like that.
Yeah, sooty, like the embers.
Yeah, and a little bit of that phenolic touch, a little bit of that as well. So a little bit of a marine flavor, but not too much. With enough sweetness and
yeah, you do get like a briny, like a quite like a sort of brine, like a salty sort of note that. See,
at the beginning.
There.
At the beginning, and then it comes fire.
It's great. It's brilliant. Great mouthfeel. So no, it's been I mean, it became part of the core range back in just a few years ago, 2020. So it's not been with us long, but it's been a great addition to the lineup.
Yeah, I love it that everybody who adds a new whiskey to the range, they go like, yeah, we need to one older, and oh, that's so hard to do, and it takes courage. Everybody and like experts say, yeah, just put a 5 on it, and you did.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people I know they would be sort of hanging off doing that, but no, it worked. We wanted to show that it's young and what it is, it's vibrant and youthful and powerful, but even though it packs a punch, but there's great, like it all comes down to balance. But Bill and the team, they're superb at what they do in terms of bringing together our whiskies.
Yeah, I like it. So with you here at Ardbeg, you're not part of Diageo and you're getting your malt. Do you get malt from Port Ellen? Because in the press we have horror stories like no more malt for anything but Diageo. How is the situation? You know it best.
Well, I do, and I mean when I worked at Port Ellen Maltons, like, well, what we're now 6-7 years ago, you would put out a lot of external malt to Ardbeg, to Laphroaig. I mean, what's happening just now is as the industry has grown and sites have expanded. I mean, we now are up to 5 loads of malt a week. But back when I was at Port Ellen, we were only 3 loads a week because we've doubled the distillation capacity with the 4 stills. And what Port Ellen are now struggling with is to meet demand, because Kalila, their sort of big distillery, which is the smoke of Johnny Walker, is flat out 7 days. So
they had capacity.
Yeah, so they're now trying to sort of allocate malt between everyone that wants it on island. Clearly that's challenging for them.
So it's really more of a can't than a don't want to from Port Ellen.
Absolutely. I mean, we work closely and we have. I mean, we've been taking malt from Port Ellen. Ardbeg's been taking malt since 1989, 1990. So a long time. So there were strong relationships built. It's just a case of where the industry is. It's a sign of the confidence and the demand that we're all, making sort of record volumes. It's difficult for maltings that was built 50 years ago to meet that demand.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to just add 2 more drums. Because these drums
cost of cast iron now as well. I know it's a scary prospect.
Bit big.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do to expand it. Obviously, the location where it is, but no, we still work closely with them, and we're still bringing malt in this year from Port Ellen. So it's a big part of what we do.
Okay, yeah. Then, Uigeadail, you've been up there today, huh?
So actually, I know I'm looking a bit tired, and I know I'm not looking my normal self here, because this morning we walked up to Uigeadail, and Loch Uigeadail takes its name, sort of for Gaelic, it means like a dark, mysterious, or a strange, mysterious place. Gaelic always had great names and very sort of poetic language. But Uigeadail, 54.2%, and this is our big sherried number, if you like. We take Ardbeg in some refill ex-bourbon casks, but we bring it together with a marriage of Oloroso sherry casks, and you get this wonderful, dark, rich, full-bodied Ardbeg. It's a classic. It was a multi-award-winning whiskey when it was launched way back in 2004, and it's been a hugely popular part of our core range. But I thought it would be good to drink because I was up there earlier, and I tell you, see, when I was climbing that hill, I was dreaming of actually having
need a bottle.
Of these. I was thinking I need something to get me through. But it's incredible. You get like, we're warming it up a wee bit here because it's quite cold in here, but there's such depth to that. Like, you get those like the classic sherry cask raisiny notes, but
I love it.
Bonfire smoke and earthy notes to it. It's incredible.
I always love that you have that nice pairing at Ardbeg with the sherry and the smoke. That just works so well. The Ardbeg smoke just works so well with the sweetness and the fruitiness of the sherry.
It's really interesting when you're maturing in, say, an ex-bourbon cask or an ex-sherry cask, how that impacts your phenolics, how that impacts your because we like to talk about breaking down smoke. You know, what is smoke? Is it like a meat smoke? Is it like a herbal smoke? Is it a wood smoke, a coal smoke? You can break it right down. But
with Uigeadail, that really gave me the look into how hard marriaging or blending is.
Yeah.
Because it was here at the Ardbeg Adventure, and they gave us like a flask of first fill, a flask of second fill, and a flask of I think sherry.
Right. Yeah.
And then they gave us a glass of Uigeadail and said, "Make me more of it." And I couldn't do it. It's so hard.
It's so difficult. See, that's a great experiment because people naturally you go for maybe a lot of sherry cask in there, but finding that balance and sweet spot, and Uigeadail has just been an absolute winner for us.
I think I went far too much on the first fill. I had the first fill and was like, oh, so nice. Oh, that is not the way how you do blending.
It's lovely. You get like this almost like a pine resin, you know.
Yeah, and it has a nice sweetness. But that sweetness now always reminds me of that first fill that you get in your tour when you have that sweetness, just first fill sweetness, sherry fruitiness. Oh, I love it.
Brilliant. Shall we have it?
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's just coats the mouth with sweetness, but almost a slightly, there's a wee peppery sort of it. Just again, it's a bit of balance, like a chocolate smoothness with this almost peppery note. Chili chocolate.
That is really spicy.
And that's got a real, always with Ardbeg, like I say, it's great mouthfeel. Yeah,
that's what I feel a lot, peppery.
I know.
But combined with that great barbecue smokiness, it feels like a bit of a steak when you have it in your smoker. Yeah. With a good amount of fresh ground pepper on it, like that is.
Chilliness,
a bit of chili in that, and I don't know the sweetness how to fit that into, but yeah, nice. It's
just great. I think it's lovely to be sitting tasting it after going up there today. You know, and it's great when you look at like the colour and it's dark. I mean, we were looking at the water sort of cascading down from Uigeadail today, and black, dark water from the peat, you know, and it's been a busy time. Our water, this time of year we like to go up and check things, make sure everything's running, make sure there's plenty of water in the loch because we're going to get drier. We've had a very wet winter and spring so far. So yeah, we just need to keep an eye. We've been busy up there as well because Arnan Beast, which the water from Uigeadail feeds into Loch Uigeadail is its technical name, but Arnan Beast we call it.
Yeah, that's what I learned today. So the Loch, the Arnan Beast is the area.
Yeah, Arnan Beast is like it's a hill. It's Gaelic for shelter of the beast. It's where they would sort of hide the cattle in storms. And but locally the loch is known as Arnan Beast, but if you look at it on a map, it's Loch Uigeadail. So from Uigeadail it feeds into Loch Uigeadail, Arnan Beast. And we actually when I took the job and I had my first day here with Mickey, you know, we looked around the new still house and all these projects going, and he says, oh, and another thing, you need to replace the dam. I says, what do you mean? He says, oh, it's really in bad shape, it's 100 years old, it needs replaced.
Oh, okay.
See you later. So that was a huge project, and last year we had to build a temporary dam. So as the water came from Uigeadail, we sort of had sandbags making a temporary dam, took the water from there so they could rebuild the dam wall at Ardbeg at Loch Uigeadail. Huge project, but we were up there today and it's holding, it's looking good. So, but I will not be touching that for at least another 100 years.
If it holds, it holds.
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah, I've been up there. It's a very nice place.
yeah.
So, but you've been up there situation-wise. Is it like?
Nah, we're not too bad. This time of year we're okay.
You okay?
There aren't too many bugs and bits. If you go up there from about the end of May onwards, the midges and the flies and things can be wild.
And the tick situation?
Ticks are pretty bad up there just now. And adders, of course. You get
And adders? Oh,
well.
okay, you got them all.
We do everything to stop people going up there, you know. It's protected. Absolutely.
Okay, so the classic kind of 10-year-old.
10.
Nice.
Ardbeg 10, for me, is the best way to show off this balance. So with this sort of smoky, sooty notes that we have at Ardbeg with this incredible citrus, herbal note, this balance that we get from using really heavily peated malt and the purifier. Essentially, if you use heavily peated malt, fermentation now we're sitting at 66 hours, suits us well, and then by the time you run that through your still, in your spirit stills at Ardbeg, famously we have the purifier, so as you're distilling, your vapours are going up, dropping back in the purifier. Any sort of fusel oils and heavy notes are coming back into the still, which lightens the spirit. And you get this wonderful balance. You can't go wrong with Ardbeg and refill American oak and some first fill American oak bourbon casks, and then it's brought together to make Ardbeg 10. And it's just the great balance, and it is a favourite of mine. Ardbeg 10 is an
How did you describe it before? It has that I would even say a little bit of a. It has a nice smoky note to it, but this one I would describe more as phenolic, more fresh, more.
Yeah, that you quite often get like a slightly creaminess, but I know what you mean. It's fresh. It's like. Squeezed citric juice, like lime juice or something.
Citric juice, lime juice.
Really.
I'm not quite sure if that is from your character or is that from the cask. It's just such a.
It just seems to tie in well. I think the mix of by having some like a good amount of first fill ex-bourbon casks in there, the American oak you get when you're pushing up your vanillins and getting these sort of vanilla notes. It just seems to work and really amplify some of these citrusy notes.
But this is really different from what we had Uigeadail 5 or the Beastie. Yeah. It's much more fresh. The sherry is having a 100% turn on this.
Oh, I think Ardbeg 10 is a great go-to.
It is. It's totally different to the other two.
Yeah. It is. The taste.
Just
cheers.
But the creaminess, the texture to it, combined with that citrusy note, it's there in the flavor, and
it's that when it comes, you get this like almost slightly mouth-watering sweetness. Very, very fruity, real sweetness to it, and then there's the mouthfeel. There's the smoke, everything coming back, that wood smoke, that tarry note to it.
It's strange, but you really got that smokiness is really down to Ardbeg smokiness. That's really, really strange how you managed to get that smokiness, because I think a lot of people who are having too much Ardbeg out there, they can really put you out in a blind tasting. Like, that's an Ardbeg.
And I always think it's one of the greatest things about working in the industry we do is how different we all are on Islay, even across the road here, by using the same ingredients. And Ardbeg for me, it's such balance, and I know what you mean. The smoke is very distinct.
Yeah, it's strange.
It's not medicinal. It's not like an earthy smoke. It's I'd describe it as like a sort of wood smoke, but just great mouth. You get that such good ash mouth coating on it. It's lovely.
Yeah, I find it also what you said. I find that is really great within the whiskey industry. But when you come down to the production, you have so many dials and levers and things you can turn. Oh, leave it in a bit longer. Tastes totally different.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think when you go, that's again when we're sampling like we've probably got about 18,000 casks in the warehouse just now. But if you same filling, same date of filling, and your same cask type, but we'll try one side by side.
It is a bit different.
The variance from maturation is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would always be afraid to, if I worked in the industry, they would, if they would call me up for like, yeah, you do a bit of that marrying and try to match the flavor profile. I was like, no.
You bring it all together. That's it can be difficult.
Whiskey creation team is I think everybody's like, oh yeah, dream job. No, it's a tough job. Yeah, it's a tough job.
High pressure job. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you took over Mickey Head's quite an iconic person. Yeah. So how is it to get into his shoes? How is it to run Ardbeg?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Like I love the distillery and the place, and I knew a lot of the team here, and I knew we had a great team here, and we genuinely do. We've got a really strong team in production here, and my warehousing team is really very, very strong, and people who genuinely care about the place. So I knew a bit of what I was coming into. What was strange, and Mickey I knew well, because Mickey, when I worked at the Maltings and when I was at Lagavulin, I'd known him and met him a good few times and always got on very well with him. So, but it was difficult because it was COVID. It was sort of first year of COVID, and we were in probably our third lockdown. By the time I got in the door, Mickey was on his last day, so we had 1 day hand. 13 years he'd been here, all this knowledge. But because I had a great team around me, I knew we'd be fine. But we got we had a walk around, and like I was saying, he showed me these things: new stillhouse, new filling store.
So the stillhouse was already built when he.
Stillhouse was there. The stills were in place, but there was still pipe work to be done.
Also,
the electronics hadn't been done. There were loads to be done.
So the adjustment of the stills and everything, and finding the spirit was all yours.
Yeah. and that's quite a nervous experience as well, because it was the first time in over 100 years probably we'd built a new stillhouse, if you like. So to move into a new one, it's got to be spirit quality. You don't want, that's absolutely, quality has to be king. You don't want any issues. So we had some great discussions, and Bill, we worked closely with Dr. Bill as well about how we were going to do it, and it still took a good few weeks to really bed in and oxidise the copper, but we're making great spirit. We're very, very happy with it. So no, it's been good. But he's still around, Mickey. I see him, and
does he come up sometimes?
Yeah, and he helps. He does actually when we get a lot of visits.
So he is a proper islander.
Oh, he's an Isla boy through and through. He's an Ilic. Yeah, so when he, we see him, and like when we got maybe some visits or people coming from some of he'll sometimes take them out peat cutting as well. And he's a great guy. And I'm only the 21st manager here in 200 odd years. So we tend to do long spells. So I just feel like I'm the custodian. You're just I'm looking after the place for the next X number of years. So, he did a great job, Mickey, and he's a legend in the industry. So.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, I went peat cutting with him as well. So wait, does he do peat cutting for himself at his home, or?
Well, his
isn't that the proper term for Iliach?
An Ilic, yeah. So he but he's still got family links here. So Graham, who is on shift. He was actually been on night shift for me last night. Graham is his nephew. And it's Graham's family croft.
Okay.
Mickey will sometimes cut peats there as well. Everyone's related on Islay. It's very close. It's very close links. And actually, Graham, who works here, his father was on shift for me at Lagavulin. So, it's all very close now.
Yeah, but I do love the Islay spirit. When you drive, I'm not quite sure how that is in summer in tourist season, but when you drive around, everybody's like greeting you. Like, you're like, okay, I have to do that, otherwise I'm really unpolite.
It's good you do it, because we used to play a game, wave or no wave, to try and work out who was the tourist and the local when I first came here. So if you got a wave, you knew it was a local. So
if I do the wave, then I don't look like a tourist.
To Islay. You've settled in well.
Yeah, but that was there when I came in 2015. It's still there, and I love it.
Yeah, no, everyone on waves. Oh,
But
yeah.
up till now, I didn't get any sheep on the street, so...
No. There's at the airport, you'll see them on the runway. But yeah, so...
Okay, we have the great finale then.
Oh, what a treat. We've got Ardbeg 25.
You had it twice now, and I know it's awesome.
Well, like I say, you can't go wrong with Ardbeg in American oak. And the 25-year-old, it's all ex-bourbon casks. And it is just an absolute beautiful dram. So, I mean, 25 years ago, we were sort of getting really up and running again because the distillery had shut through the 80s, shut again in 1996. 97 Glenmorangie bought the distillery, so it was really about getting everything optimised again, getting every consistency and making great liquid, and then we were laying this down in good casks.
So it was like just Glenmorangie just bought you?
Yeah, like not long. Yeah, they got us.
And you got a new mash tun.
Yeah, well, we got the old mash tun was replaced out.
Maybe there's some of the old mash tun in there. Maybe.
Yeah, there will be. It was 99 actually when the mash tun was replaced.
It says at least 25 years.
There's some older whiskey in there. I mean, we've just disgorged for the new 25, and there's whiskey over 25 years old in there. But it's so like...
It's round, waxy and
waxy, absolutely.
But
creaminess to it. There is a real...
good amount of smoke in there.
Yeah. It's
still good amount of smoke. I've had some smoky Islay whiskies, 20, 30, sometimes even 40. I think I had a 50 as well. But this one kept its smokiness pretty well.
Also on the nose, with the longer through maturation and the more sort of wood impact from the cask, it does subdue it on the nose. So it's really, when you taste it, you're still going to get that good mouth coating as well.
Yeah, it still has that tar character.
But there's like a lemony, lemon meringue or something. There's it's like a lemon dessert. It's just beautiful.
What I find strange is that you still have that freshness a little bit in there. I didn't have that in any 25 years old. I don't think I had many that I would call there's freshness in there, because usually it's like, there's maturity in there. And still, it has maturity in as well.
I know, there's a real tropical fruity note as well. It's just, it's absolutely sensational. The 25's been a winner. It's just, again, it's been a great whiskey to add to the range.
So, cheers.
Here, Slàinte
Slàinte.
It's like mouth watering.
46.
Yeah.
It has a power to it. Usually 25 is much more mellow. It has a power. Also has a good amount of oak in it.
Yeah.
Still a lot of pepper in there.
Yeah, you do get, again, that's just the way the stills and how we pan out with production. But there's a creaminess and there's a real sweetness to it, vanilla, fudge. But like you say, that it's like smoky limes or something. There's just kind of like the citruses with the smoke. It's but the smoky absolutely stays with it.
I love it how it always tastes different at the distillery.
Being in the place helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is just different. Oh, I love it.
What a whiskey.
Oh, that's a nice whiskey. I didn't think that you would bring out the 25-year-old just like 5, 10, 25. But
we know we've got a lot of big fans in Germany. It's a big market for Ardbeg, and we see the passion of our German fans when they come over.
Oh yeah, they are.
We get many visits, and like you say, when you're in the place and people are here drinking great whiskey. So when you're here, I thought we better get the
also I did have the Trevan. I think Trevan is 17, or is it? There are more batches.
Well, it's a 19-year-old Trevan.
Didn't it start with 17 in batch 1 and 19 now? I'm not quite sure, but
19
is always 19.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's because that was batch 4, the one I picked last year. So
okay.
We're working through them. Mickey picked the first, then Jackie, and then Bill picked the third, and then I picked last year.
Is it everybody Everybody that's the pack
we'll go
one.
through a range of, like you're talking about when you're bringing together, because again, it's a mix of casks, all are also sherry cask and refill bourbon casks, and then we'll go for what we like. So we tried to push the sherry a wee bit last year, but no, it's another great whiskey.
Yeah, the thing is with Ardbeg, what I do really love is you have a good core range, but you have so many special editions.
We like to play it, but like innovation's like a sort of buzzword in the industry just now. But we've always, Bill especially, has liked to try things and put things, away and try. Years ago, playing about and trying, because we have to be careful. It has to be liquid lead. We have to make sure we're laying down stuff that is interesting and people are gonna.
Yeah, with him, I always thought like Dr. Bill Lumsden. He's like very. Conservative or something. No, he's a playful guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a great character. Bill. He's an absolute, he's a legend. He's a great guy and a great character. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for showing me this great collection of whiskey, and yeah, thank you very much for having us here at the distillery. That was just a lovely experience.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Cheers. Thank
you very much. Yeah, and thank you very much for watching. And if you found this video interesting, then please feel free to share this video with your friends. And if you live in Germany, Austria, or now in Netherlands, you can try these whiskeys or buy these whiskeys at whisky.de and whisky.com. Thank you very much, and see you next time.